Today, I have the very pleasure of interviewing Chris Scales, MMA mixed martial artist. How you doing today, sir?
Doing great, and yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So my first question to you is, when did you first fall in love with the fight game?
I'd say back in like 2009, 2010. I had friends in high school, like when my senior year, who were into it. And at first, I was like, "This sounds like stupid. Like I'm not watching this. Like it's dumb." But then I remember like the first fight I watched Anderson Silva fight Forrest Griffin, and before, like my friend named Josh was like all about Anderson, and he was talking about like how great he was, and I'm like, nobody's this great. All right, but like, I want to watch it anyways. So I watched it, and we all saw how Silver treated Forrest that night, and I was like, wow, like this is legit. And then like I've been in love with it ever since.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So were there any other sports you were into before mixed martial arts?
I mean, I did football in high school and wrestling, and I mean, I watched football and stuff. But as far as like actually competing in anything, um, I'm 5'6", 150, so I know football is out of the question after high school was done. So
Okay. I got you. I got you. So how did you use your wrestling in high school? How did it help you in your mixed martial arts career so far?
just being around great wrestlers. I didn't like wrestle in high school. I wrestled like with the team and like with like a lot of my teammates in the gyms that I've been to or I went to high school with and who were great wrestlers. And so like just I don't know, like watching them and then just drilling and watching them, and they're also like really informative and like telling me what I need to do, what I'm doing wrong, what I can do to get better, how I can improve. And I don't know, like I like wrestling. I like picking people up, slamming them down, or just tackling someone. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's like it's a hard to explain feeling. It just feels good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, talk about how you went from being a fan of mixed martial arts in 2009 and 2010 to actually fighting in actually events with a crowd full of people. Because that's quite a jump.
It was a jump. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like my first couple of fights I lost. I ain't gonna lie. Like I remember my first fight. Uh, I was extremely nervous. This was dumb. Like I took my first fight after training for 2 weeks. Don't ever do that. It was dumb. I had people trying to talk me out of it, and I was like, oh no, I got it. My first fight, I come out. I'm like, using my jab, moving around, listening to my coaches. Got a double leg, submitted in like 20 seconds. I cried like a baby for like the longest time. But I don't know. Like over the years, like I've gotten better. And as far as I don't like making the jump, it's like making the walk to the octagon. It's like the feeling is very hard to explain. Because I mean, you train with your partners or with other gyms to cross train like daily, and but like that until like fight night is completely different. Like the crowd and people watching you, and it can like make or break you. Like if you let your nerves, get the best of you, because like when you walk out, like like when an announcer comes to the back and it's like, "Yo, Chris, you're up next." Like in my mind, I'm like, "This is it." Like everything I've done for the last few months is about to come to fruition. Like I'm about to make this walk in front of hundreds of people. And I don't know, like it's hard to explain the adrenaline, but like it's something that like I would never like willingly give up, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, talk about just your experience and also your composure from the first time and the growth in your composure from the time that you first walked inside the octagon and to your current self now, who has the experience.
Um, my current self now would completely destroy the Chris that 10 years ago. As far as composure, I'm not gonna lie, like I still have like a little, I wouldn't say trouble with composure. It's just like my nerves. Like over the years, I've noticed like I've been in fights where I get myself so mentally amped up. Like, but then when I get in the cage, I have like an adrenaline dump, and it's like I'm well aware of what's going on, of what's happening, but it's like my body is like stuck. It's like I'm moving in molasses, and then
Mhm.
sometimes like it'll take me a round or two to come out of it, but by then, it's kind of too late. But my last fight, I kind of like had that. I felt it happening, but I just told myself like, you've done this like numerous times. Breathe. Just treat it as like a very aggressive sparring session, and that kind of like helped me, as like the fight went on. And I was like, actually, it was one of the first few times where I felt like in the cage, I was like actually in the moment. Because other times, like I'd been there, but not felt there. But like my last fight, like I felt like, this is me in there, like the adrenaline dump didn't happen. Like I was well aware of what was going on. And I felt like from that fight to like my very first one, I say I've grown a lot in that area.
Yes, sir. So explain the adrenaline dump exactly for the people who don't know. What is an adrenaline dump?
Bro, it's bro, you can literally be in like the best shape of your life. You can go rounds in the cage, in the gym, sparring, jujitsu, whatever. You can be in like great shape. But if you mentally like psych yourself out so bad, it's like you gas so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when you get mentally jumbled, like you don't breathe when you punch, you hold your breath, you don't use your footwork properly. And then God forbid that happens, and then you get into like a grappling match, and then like everything is like shot. But it's more of like the fight game it's more mental than anything. Like self-belief, self-confidence goes a very, very, very long ways. And that also helps with like an adrenaline dump, because like you can't like doubt your training and like all the time and energy you put in the training camp 2 or 3 months. Like you can't doubt yourself or doubt your abilities or doubt your coaches or question like, if did I do this enough or am I prepared for this? You just have to believe in yourself and just go out there and do your thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you believe so, and you already answered it actually. So why is it that do you believe mentally is more important than skill or even heart? Is the mentality more important than heart in a fight, or is it mental, skill, or is it heart? What's more important?
Um, Mental is they're all very important areas, but for me, like I think a lot of fighters would agree, like mentally, like being mentally prepared to go into a fight is extremely important, because I mean you can have like a great skill set. One of my favorite fighters, Donald Cerrone, he talks about it all the time about being self-confident, adrenaline dumps, and just believing in yourself. And he's mid-30s, and he talks about like it still happens to him from time to time. So like you just have to like believe in yourself, believe in your training, believe that you've done enough to be prepared for the battle you're about to go into, and then you believe in that, and then you apply your training, your skill set, and your heart. If it comes to that point, if you're in a dogfight, you got to have the heart. So I don't know, like mental first, and then like everything else like kind of follows into place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what were some of the greatest battles that are some of your personal favorites that you've had throughout the years? What are some of your favorite battles?
I remember the first fight I won. I fought this guy named Danny. Honestly, I didn't know what he looked like until the actual fight. I kind of like I was like still training and stuff, and I had a promoter hit me up and I was like, "You want to fight this guy?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll fight him." And I don't know, like I didn't see him until he walked out in the cage, and we fought at 138. We were supposed to fight at 135, and then the promoter was like, "He's not gonna make it," and I was like, "You know what? It's fine. A few less pounds I have to worry about." I get in the cage, and this dude comes out. He looks like he's a whole weight class ahead of me, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like psyching myself out. I'm like, he's gonna wrestle me. He's gonna grab me, and so the bell rings. I come out. I'm circling. My coach is like, "You should jab. You should jab." I hear him. Am I listening? No. And we're circling and stuff. And so like he steps to me. I do like a counter left. I hit him. I dropped him. I rushed in. He took me down. I spent the rest of the round on the ground. But like when I went into like to sit down after the first round, and I was like, he's scared of me. Like he didn't want any of my stand up, and so like that right there, like so second round I come out, I'm using my jab, put my combinations together, I start wrestling a little bit. I'll say that, and then my last fight, 2 fights I fought AJ Patterson, who's actually a teammate now. That was really good. And then my last fight, Josh Cook, was like back and forth. I feel like I kind of got screwed out of a decision with that one, but it is what it is. But it was fun. Like we both left it out there. I was talking to him during the fight. I don't ever do that. Not like trash talk, but just like more of like a mutual respect kind of thing.
Interesting. So, speaking of trash talk, what are your views on trash talk in the sport of mixed martial arts? And do you personally trash talk your opponents?
Me personally, I don't. I mean, I have trash talk, but it's because like they initiate it. Like I'm a respectful person, but like if we're doing like a pre-fight interview and they start like bagging on me, I'm not gonna sit there and be quiet. Like I'm like, hey, what's good, you know? But as far as like trash talk, it just like I don't know. Like I mean, a bunch of fighters do it now, like in the pro leagues, like sell fights. But like as far as trash talking, like people like Conor McGregor or like
Yes.
Sonnen, like that kind of trash talk I like because it's kind of like that's like who they are as a person. Like that kind of trash stuff, like trash talk, like for me, like it just like it flows, like it's not fake. It's like who they are as a person. But
Gotcha.
like other trash talkers like Colby Covington, for example, like I saw an interview a while ago. He's talking to a fan and he's like, he openly admitted like he trash talked to sell fights, which like for one thing, like for a financial standpoint, I can like understand. I get it because like I mean you have to sell, you have to provide, but like then on the other hand, I'm like you're being fake. That's not like this is not who you are. Like just stop. But I don't know, like if I'm a spectator and like if I'm like at an event and I see a couple guys going at it, like I get hype. I'm like, all right, this fight's gonna be good. I like it. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think the biggest trash talker in our generation when it comes to the fight game is Floyd Mayweather. So Conor McGregor learned from Floyd, but
Yeah.
I feel like Floyd. Do you feel like Floyd was somebody who was a trash talker in real life, or you think it was business?
I think it's a bit of both. Because Floyd kind of like he kind of told you what it was beforehand. Like he just told you like how great he was and went out and like proved it, you know? And honestly, like I'm a big McGregor fan now, but at first I couldn't stand this dude. I'm like, he talks entirely too much. But then it's like once I started like following him and like he really like the stuff he was saying, like he really like he actually believed it. And he's like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna put this guy out in this round by doing this, and then he goes out there and does it. And I'm like, that's just like for one, it takes, balls to go out to put yourself out there and say you're gonna do something. But then to like say it and then go out there and actually do it. And but not that, but just do it like over and over and over again. It's like I mean, it's respectable. Like I don't know. I like it. I respect it.
Respect, respect. So Chris, have you learned more so from your wins or from your losses?
Unfortunately, I have more losses than wins, but I say like the wins I have, like I really enjoy them. But as far as like, I feel like I learned more from losses because, I mean, like when you lose, it sucks because it's like everyone just saw me lose. Whether if you lose by a decision or if you get caught, like a loss is a loss. It sucks, but it's like you learn from it. Um, your coaches, your teammates, you kind of like go back to the drawing board. You don't want to like make it like all like a bad thing. You want to like pick out what good happened in the fight if there was any good, whether like how big or small. You want to pick the good out. But also, like, you just want like you learn from the bad what happened to not put yourself in that position again, or to not get caught in that again. Or so, like for me, like I learn more from like my losses, and so I don't know, like I'm excited to get back into the cage and to like just show my improvement like over the years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how has COVID-19 affected fights for you during this time?
Bro, COVID is like COVID is and I don't know, COVID's destroyed a lot. So right now, like I don't think Virginia is sanctioning anything, so I'm gonna have to travel. Um, I mean, I don't mind traveling, but it looks like North Carolina, South Carolina are the closest for me that are like sanctioning things. So I had to do a little bit of traveling, but COVID, it's like, I mean, as far as training and stuff, I went to a new gym with friends, and like I was like improving, I was growing, things were flowing, and then COVID happened, and then like gyms and stuff shut down, and it's like I've been putting in time, months, eating properly, bust my butt in the gym, training, and then COVID happened, and then kind of like fell off for a little bit. Just now got back into it a few weeks ago, so I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I didn't like sit at home eating bonbons and donuts last year. I've been doing some stuff. I stayed in the gym, lifting weights, running, but now I'm like back in the gym actually training, and no, it feels good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, do you see yourself potentially going pro, like becoming a pro at this?
Absolutely. I think another like one or two more amateur fights, and then I'm gonna turn pro. Um, I don't know where the heck my 20s went. Like, I feel like just yesterday I was like 25 years old, and here this summer I'm gonna be 30. So training and getting beat up for free. I don't want to do that too much anymore. So I think another one or two more amateur fights, and then I'll take that step.
Yes, sir. Explain life as an amateur fighter. Like you said, you're getting punched in the face, kicked in the, wherever. Like, what is that experience like? Fighting in a sport you love, but you might not necessarily get paid because you're not a professional yet.
Um, it's I mean, like the training, like the fighting aspect stuff is fun. I mean, I wish amateurs did get paid, but I mean, it is what it is. But with that being said, you don't want to like jump into the pros right away because of that and go like way too early. And but then it's like on the other hand, like every amateur fighter is different. Like some amateur fighters flourish and blossom way faster or better than others. And so like you can't look at one person and be like, oh, well, my teammate has this going on. He's going pro. He's signed with this company. He's doing big things. So let me go ahead and do that. And like everybody's different. Like people blossom at different times. Things happen for different people at different times. It's how like we're all unique. So as far as like going pro and stuff, it's just not my time yet. I feel like I'm close. Like I'm there. I won't say there. I feel like I'm close. I'll just say like I'm close. Am I there yet? No, because there's levels to it. I've trained with pro fighters before, and there's a difference between pro and Emmys. Like
Hmm.
I've grappled and stuff with pros, and they've like this was like over a year ago, and they like mopped the floor with me, and I'm like, what is like? It's levels to this game. Like there really is.
I believe it. I believe it. So, what are your personal keys to success?
Staying consistent, going to training every day. Um, I besides like I had like this last year and a half, couple years and stuff that's been going on besides COVID. Like I had like a lot of things going on. COVID happened. A single father. My relationship ended. So I have a son and a daughter, and then also COVID with work and like work hours being cut or potentially being let go because all you hear is like people losing their jobs and stuff. And then my dad dying recently, like last March. Like for me, and like being depressed on top of it, like a lot has like happened to like be like thrown off my game. But I like with all that, like I've learned um consistency goes like a very, very long way. And so like doing things like when I say that, like, it's easy to like go out and train or do things when you feel great, when you're pumped up. But it's like in the moments when like you're down and you're depressed and you feel like crap and life is like, kicking you in the butt and you don't feel like doing anything. That's when it's like really important to be consistent, to put the time in, to put the work in. And, the only reason why I'm even back in that training is because I have a couple friends that have like been nagging on me like constantly, like at least a couple of times a week, like, we miss you, bro. You need back in the gym. You need back in the gym. And so I've learned consistency goes a long way.
Yes, sir. How did you pull yourself out? Because that's a lot that you've had to deal with in a very short period of time. How do you mentally and spiritually work on yourself during this time?
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's extremely hard, and it's like, I mean, I still haven't got over lost my father yet, and I mean the other things like COVID and stuff. Like, I mean, it sucked, but a lot of people like lost their jobs. I didn't. I mean, I lost hours, but I still have my job. I'm a good father. I still have my house, my car, et cetera, et cetera. So like I lost things, but I didn't really lose things, if that makes sense. But as far as like, I mean, like he passed like in March last year, and I'm still like, I don't know, like I'm still dealing with things. Like today I feel great. Tomorrow I can wake up and feel like crap. But I'm still gonna, I've still been in the gym. Like the only reason, like if I don't go to the gym is because like it's work related. I work at a hospital, so my hours could be long. But even like I've been going to the gym where like on my great days where I'm like pumped up and I'm motivated, and I've been going to the gym even like on the days I'm like, I just want to sit home and open a cold one and play video games and eat Doritos and like not do anything. But and like those are the important days, like where you absolutely have to like drag yourself to the gym. Like you have to force yourself to get in the car to drive to the gym. Those are like some of the best like training sessions. And also like when the training is done that day, you tell yourself, you know what, I didn't feel like doing this, but like I made myself come. I made myself get up and go, and you feel a lot better afterwards. So it's like it's kind of like a mental win after the fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, um, speaking of your father, how did your father impact you and develop you as a man? And how did he feel about you chasing your dreams?
Um, honestly, like, hold on. Honestly, like, my father didn't play that. It's weird because I'm just gonna be truthful. Like, my father, like, he wasn't like the best. He wasn't the best dad in the world. Like, he really wasn't. Like, long story short, my brothers and I got put into a foster care system. We were like 10, from like the age of like 10 to 18. My dad didn't do what he was supposed to. We didn't go back home. Um, we talked a few times in my 20s and stuff, like early 20s before he passed and stuff. But I mean, it wasn't all bad. Like there were, a few good moments. And I remember him telling me like, believe in myself. Don't let people tell me, I can't do something because they can't do something. And, it's like, I don't have many things to pick and choose from him, to be honest. But like the things that I do, like the very few good parts that I do have from him, like, I don't know, I kind of like try to mimic it and tell myself every day, believe in yourself, work hard, you can do this. Your goals sound crazy, but if it doesn't sound crazy, then it's not big enough. So I don't know.
Yes.
He wasn't the best male role model, but it is what it is. I'm my own person. I just whatever good he did, I picked from it, and I am what I am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now, as you being a father, let's say both of your kids want to become mixed martial artists. Um, what would you tell them? What would you instill in them to become their a next level fighter, and a next level person?
Um, hard work and being consistent. I'll tell them a hard worker and being consistent will get you really far. just support them like any way that I can. Put them in like the best gyms, surround them with the best people. Have them surround themselves with the best people. Be resilient. Um, don't let bad things get you down. Just positivity, good
Yeah.
things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last question. Last question. Top 5 UFC fighters of all time.
All time, and it's hard. I'm gonna put Silva at the top.
Okay.
Obviously, John Jones.
John Jones is my number one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Silva because he jumped weight classes. I know John just weight, and I know he's gonna do really well. So John is number 2. Cain Velasquez is one of my favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a huge Velasquez fan. Like, I feel like his injuries really it killed his career because like he would, he was great. He won the belt. He destroyed Brock, and then he get injured. He come back and win a few fights, get injured, then he lose, and then I think he just couldn't stay healthy. Like every time I read an article like, oh, Cain's had to fight, and then a week or so later, I'm like, he's injured again, and I'm like, bro, like you're fragile. like, so yeah,
That's
so,
3.
and I'm gonna say Connor 4.
Wow.
Bro, I'm just based off of years. And you know what? Rewind.
No. You can go with Connor. Connor, that's 4. Okay.
No. I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna put Connor and Silva at tie number 1 because I'm a big Connor fanboy. Like my friends rag on me about it. Like I annoy them so much. Connor and Silva. John is 2. Cain Velasquez is 3. TJ Dillashaw. I'm a huge Dillashaw fan. I know he's coming off his whole EPO thing. It sucks. It is what it is. He owned up to it. He's 4. I hope he comes back and he gets the belt back. And then I'm gonna put Henry Cejudo at number 5.
Interesting. You know who you didn't put down? You didn't put down Demetrius.
You only gave me so many spots.
That's interesting. I mean, I respect your list. Connor at 1. Hey, you a bold brother. You a bold brother.
I know people are gonna see this and be like, "Really, dude?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Chris, thank you very much for your time. Where can people find you on social media, and when would you want to fight next?
Social media. My social media is very boring. You just type in Chris Gales and I come up. I've been talking to Rocket Combat Sports. I think they have an event in South Carolina that's in March. If not March, then like I'm gonna say like April or May. I feel like March I'll be ready, but definitely by April.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Putting in the work, grinding, improving every day. No matter how big or small, just improving, showing up. So hopefully by March or April, you'll, be reading about me.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see you fight, brother. You have an amazing day. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.